Welcome everyone to another episode of Live Fixing Open Source Bugs in Upstream Packages with the latest and greatest open source releases, Clang GCC, and stuff as simple as stacking some nice little Lego bricks, right? Don't delay, play along at home, patches welcome, because fixing open source things is actually way more productive than spending your time with expensive Lego bricks. Even yesterday, yes, fixing open source things 9 to 5 and late at night, and we are back here continuing with that already, because we have a Linux distribution to release, right? People demand their best Linux distribution necessities for gracious and successful open source living, and we need to deliver. And we have 36 architecture and libc combinations to release. And of course, some don't build. Yesterday, people were laughing our decade-old AVR32 uclibc stuff, but turns out latest and greatest Clang thing fails similar. Recurring theme of the only constant is change and regressions, like you build stuff with LVM Clang and it's like version script assignments, like failed symbol not defined. Yeah, this kind of stuff we need, like as simple as stacking some little Lego bricks, right? I mean, we could Google this, maybe other people have a patch for that. Is there not? Is there another? I mean, we could otherwise just, here maybe? No undefined version, but what is that even? What even is this precisely doing? So this is some apparently linker script. You know what this is? This is probably optimized away by LTO. So yeah, the solution is of course not always like some simple error, or the compiler would tell you, hey, it's like obviously syncing around some Lego brick corners and syncing around some corners, right? Maybe it's as simple as, like, why do some packages have no LTO for reasons? Because it doesn't always work, right? We have plenty of more, like even it might be a simple fix. Let's see for no LTO Clang. Oh. Important holiday and more sleep to type with less typos. Cheers. Just one midnight here, one lunch break there. At the end of the week, you have Linux distribution. Okay, no LTO did not magically fix that. That is unfortunate. But undefined reference to crypt format. I mean, it must be, but apparently it isn't. ASCII Doctor installed package check. What the heck is ASCII Doctor? This is also checking some. Maybe ASCII doc? Who the heck typed that there? Welcome everyone. No tech, you mistyped that, probably something. Good that we found that. Drinking our own champagne. ASCII doc. What was this even precisely? Okay, moving that maybe. So ASCII doc was previously in there, right? Good, let's commit this first. Okay, we can, let's always test, like, yeah, pro tip, always test build stuff before committing it. Good that we have a warning for non-existing packages. Fixed crypt ASCII doc package total. ASCII doc, there we go. Fix a day keeps the bitrot and bugs away. But doesn't fix here the root cause of our, also do we, this is also built. Before we continue with that stuff, and okay, we should fix this. Okay, let's focus. As boring as it is, yes, it's boring for me too. I also wish I wouldn't need to fix other people's strange stuff. So one way to do that, did this even build with, how did this build? Probably like so. Undefined link referred with. Good, that is a stuff. So what precisely I need to, modern stuff hiding, this is by default, right? So what does it do? lib2 enter directory tag. Where's even the, is it doing that from here? Apparently, so what does it do? Mode link crypt. I don't even instantly see there a but this error is not different. You know what did this change from? Maybe I should actually read my own. Did it change from? So now the error is slightly different now. Maybe it just doesn't have crypt format for some bizarre reason. Yeah, recurring theme. If we would set everything on fire, the invention of IT computers and code was a mistake. Like, how can everything still be so broken? And that's my frustration, right? Like, everything could just work, but no. 2024, 40 plus years later, stuff still breaks in the most bizarre ways. Okay, the error is slightly different. It's not LTO, as you see. Okay, let's build with no LTO for debuggability and later see if we actually need that or not. So 2 builds are broken by that, right? We are nearly done though. Good morning, everything again. Yes, I rebuilt this twice. This is just like testing, A and B testing. Yes, I could keep it, but I rather waste 5 seconds or so of doing this than having some not 100% correct build state. So let's see where it's supposed to come from. Crypt format, you can't make it up. It is ridiculous. Here is also test symbol version stuff. Why is this not in there? Here is some crypt symbol export new. Crypt format, maybe. So should export it in that file, or was it crypt format? No? Crypt format plain. For loop, where is? But we have audio, we have good. Is plain as looks crypt format. Here is. Maybe this doesn't work. Okay, it's underscore return export. Guess it should be in here. Probably this crypt symbol export new thing doesn't work. Here's also, oh, what the heck? Why do they have this shit twice? Are they freaking kidding me? You had one job. Okay, that clearly somehow does not work for whatever reasons. Maybe neither of this is defined. Why do I always need to search such a nonsense? Okay, this is the only freaking, that is the only thing they export? Are they freaking kidding me? Do not use new or old on public. What the heck? Like, I'm not making this shit up, right? I did not expect it to be that stupid, right? I thought it's like some tiny little thing, but that's the thing, right? Like, day after day, such nonsense I need to, like why? It was previously working. Do not use script symbol, export new and old and public symbols being exported only once. Linker will handle it automatically as always. Like, why? Like, if the linker will handle it automatically as always, why do you have some strange stuff here? It's supposed to be used only with symbols that are exported in at least 2 versions simultaneously as following the latest. Ah, so they export it twice. Are you freaking kidding me? Ah, that is the difference. Ah, old and new. If the latest version is yet another version. Oh, like due, like you had one job. Oh, here's maybe if there's maybe some sim version thing. Maybe it like oh. I have a dream of a world where code just works, and it's like due. Oh. I have the feeling this is not defined. Actually, we have that there. So we built with Clang. This is glibc Clang. Yeah, here, config h have attributes somewhere. But here it is, wait, why is it, that is bizarre. Oh wait, is it maybe, oh, this is in. No, it has somewhere defined. Somehow this doesn't work. For reasons, apparently. Why? Probably was this one, right? Let's see, are there any warnings? Here is actually some warning. Unknown attribute somewhere ignored. Okay, cool. Why does it configure test set? Clang does not support GC symware. Why? You had one job. I thought it's a flagship. I thought it's a flagship compiler. I thought it's the best compiler. People tell me always, why don't you use Clang? It's so much faster. Spoiler alert, it's not. It's so much better. Spoiler alert, it really is. Oh, cool. If dev asm symware foo. Oh. Rust binaries require to reach aliasing. Edit, new issue, edit, Clang frontend. Other people project seems to hit this as well. Example, Open Mandriva Association, kernel blob, Clang attribute somewhere. Cool. Yeah, that's the thing. What are we cooking? We are cooking Linux distribution, the best Linux distribution for compilers that don't support somewhere. Why does this test this didn't copy and paste. Use Wayland, they said. Since I use Wayland, copy and paste doesn't work reliably anymore. Is it this one? Oh, yes, also, what is that even? Undefined version by default? What the heck is that even? Incorrect version scripts not helpful. Default flips that users find bugs time rather than at runtime. Okay, whatever. Okay, so I guess we patch that away. Espanol, no Espanol. We speak international English, preferably. If dev clang here, let's somewhere they tested here, right? That is so funny. So they test this. So this test is not good enough. Because Clang apparently just puts out... Oh, you know what? Maybe we remove W error. Maybe this test, maybe our global W error removal breaks this test. We could just patch in here a typo. I mean, as usual, there are multiple solutions. Like if W error might this test succeed. So the problem is we globally removed W error for years because with each new compiler, like otherwise every project that adds W error would fail, plus for all the exotic architectures, right? It might build with W error, like warnings are errors. For mainstream with last year's compiler, but not like for PowerPC or Spark or stuff, right? So that is why we globally remove that, right? It's just extremely rarely that then something fails. That is. So we could patch in typo in here so that this fails. Like hot fix no somewhere patch. Wait, do we have patches for Clang? Actually, no, I'm not sure if we have patch support for Clang. Maybe we don't. Ah, shit. Probably. Okay, we could also. Can we detect Clang? Does it set Clang? My favorite typo. Okay, it sets Clang. Okay, this probably, did I delete this already? It's probably, we don't have this and probably we should maybe not start it. Let's fix it differently. As we don't have then, let's break it otherwise, so that it's supposed to build, right? So build test. Like basically if we patch that away, like if dev, it's just a hack, right? Like if dev Clang, then don't build. That's cool syntax. So that probably should fail because it's not a well-formed program. We just break it even more intentionally. We could also, for Clang or in general, remove W error, but I fear that will, because this did undefined reference, so that didn't work as intended. It still detects firmware support. Okay, didn't break it enough. If you really want to break your sources even then... Oh wait, if not def, of course. That's why we test our shit. Yeah, I wish I would be a millionaire. I do too much open source to be a millionaire. So, pro tip, like, spoiler, if you fix other people's open source things all day long, you are not a millionaire. Let's just remove this blue stripe there, blue pixel line off. But thanks here. If you shall like, subscribe, Patreon, and GoFundMe, that certainly helps us to pay the bills. How does this do? Where is it still not broken enough? It still thinks due. I mean, okay, we could also break it. That surely shouldn't be well-formed secret, should it? Just want this bloody test to really fail. Can't be that difficult, can it? Maybe I should have pre-tested if failing that really fixes this, not that we patch around here. How can this freaking still work? Oh. Not smart enough to break stuff more, that's too broken. Okay, you know what? Fuck this shit. This is, let's... So... Yeah. Which one was that one? Let's do it differently. Let's just set it, let's just force it to, if we can't break this test enough. I mean, the right thing would be to implement this, right? If yes, but if other Clang people don't implement it, then it's like, yeah. We're not implementing Clang, like the LVM Foundation could donate us some paycheck, then we would implement it for them. Description. I mean, maybe we could conf set 10, could we? FCC links conf set description. Could we override this define to 1 if... Oh wait, with Clang we can't. Can we override this conf set attribute? Can we build with... Oh wait, do we build with configure or with Meson? Now I'm confused. Or do we run with both? Ah, this has both. We patched the wrong thing. This is why this didn't work. Yeah, 2022 stuff has configure and Meson. Actually, the test is here slightly different. Yeah, how many build systems do you need? Let's try that again. Yep. Did you get any feedback on the tests? Also got a question, don't mind. Do you do open source on the side or is it your main occupation? Well, I run my own company, right? So of course we do embedded project, right? I founded my company, so I run my own company. And due to that, I have the freedom to do, as long as I can pay the bills, I have the freedom to do whatever the heck I want and not be forced off as a Red Hat employee to delete open source code, like deprecate it, delete. It's not our primary business, delete. I can just. And obviously building, diversifying, here, having more fun at work, like instead of discussing embedded details with like writing offers, like doing stuff that is not fun to me, like dealing with big, like writing project offers, not getting them, as usual, right? Getting squeezed with price because foreign nationals in wherever offer a lower price for delivering even more broken software and stuff, like having more fun in life again, and like other YouTubers, right? And making the open source world a better place. Of course, we have, I said this before, right? We still have paperless office software, so amazing scan software with over 500 scanner drivers and even PDF, OCR and PDF software, but as you see, open source. Yeah, pro tip, that's the crazy stuff, right? Why is the state of open source so shitty? Because very few people pay for that, right? Except your donations and Patreon and stuff. And then even companies where people put 20 plus years in open source, they don't even often win projects like embedded virtualization projects because there's always some other less ethical and minimum wage paying companies in India and China that offer it for cheaper, right? It's like nice car entertainment system you wanted to have. I said this before, right? Like even like once we thought we negotiate with Sony 15 years ago, before like the year before the iPhone, I believe, because do we even have this online? I mean, so much happened in my life, which is absolutely crazy. Do we still have that somewhere? Maybe not. Or do we have that in the T2 white paper here? This old white paper from? Also, somehow PDFs do not always work anymore in my Firefox. Anyway, we spoke with Sony the year before the iPhone, because even then I had the Sony 600M or so, 600i. And like I basically wanted my Linux like with better software and stuff. Like it's not like we had other visions than Steve Jobs, right? Like, hey, he's such a visionary. It's like Dew. I also wanted Linux on phones, like with the full operating system and stuff. So we spoke with Sony when did the iPhone? Probably iPhone release first gen, like a year or two before the iPhone. And 2007, is it release or shipping? Anyway, first released, discontinued units sold. Anyway, yeah, so about this time. And then it turns out, like we thought like, hey, we get a deal with Sony for embedded Linux for smartphone stuff. And then it turned out the people we spoke with, two people, mid-level managers. And we spoke for months, negotiated, even had a meeting or two in person, at least once in Berlin, maybe both in Berlin. And then it turned out those two people of Sony, those two managers, wanted to, I said this story before, right? It's probably the third time I tell the story. They wanted to create their own freaking startup, right? Like weeks of work. Like, of course you work for free, right? You make presentations, you make prototype concepts and stuff. Of course you put realistically easily 3 weeks worth of work into that. Like it's not like Sony or Tesla, Volkswagen pays you for like working on some potential product stuff, right? It's like the risk of doing business. And it's multiple times it happens, you negotiate and work on big projects, and in the end, these managers want to create their own startups. Like, dude, we have a startup. Like, we wanted to sell our shit to Sony and not like make another startup, a second startup with ex people from Sony. It's like, dude, it's like, thanks for wasting my time. Like, again, this happens so often. It's absolutely ridiculous. And why does this shit still not, like, are we too, like, how can this take so long? I just want this, don't use this Zimmer shit. I was like, why has Clang not supported this? Like you, I thought you have a flagship compiler. Why is Zimmer stuff not supported? This is stale. I mean, we could probably, Zimmer. If not dev, then have this. Why does this still link? Why does this still link? You know what? Let's break it here completely. Like, I mean, or do they have 2 tests? Don't have. Oops. I mean, this is no so broken C. Oh, wait. Is that even, I can't break. Okay, let's first see if it's broken enough to. Okay, this is not broken enough. Hallelujah. So with C, we probably better. So with Clang, we break it now completely to finally freaking fail this test. We need to check that it's still well formed for GCC. It should be fine, but given how long that took, let's better double check that. Yeah. The other question was, did you get any feedback on the test you've written? And what kind of feedback do you mean? Okay, this did break, works amazing. So then we can continue the Clang build here, and it's the same failed, of course, for all Clang. So that is ARM64 Clang, of course. 32 threads there. Oh, these 8 threads are not enough. We want our builds done. Let's better hurry up. So finally, oops, no, I also mistyped that. Sorry, let's probably reset the zooming there. This where it is. So finally another. This is ridiculous stuff we have to work on. I wonder what all the other Linux distributions who supposedly ship Clang for years, why is this not fixed upstream? There are Linux distributions who specialize on, we are Clang-based Linux distribution. It's like why is this then not implemented, and why is crypt setup broken? It's like, and that is what I for 25 years wonder, like why is, like, everyone leaves it like in a rough state, like everything is half finished. Also, I mean, LVM Clang, right? It's Apple's flagship compiler, which, by the way, not founded by Apple, right? Chris Luttner there. Maybe even not founded by Chris Luttner. At least it's at some university. And maybe Chris Luttner's founder, but maybe he's only one of them, or one who... I know Chris Luttner was early there. Maybe he is let's check. Co-founder. Yeah, who was? Anyway, it doesn't matter. He's one of the co-founders. Whatever the details. Because I had the feeling that he might not be the one person who started it all. But anyway, it's also in the meantime 15 or whatnot years old, right? Why is this not more feature complete? Symbol versioning should not be that complicated. At 21 freaking years old, right? Did you would have thought that LVM is 21 freaking years old? Still can't version symbols. Trap Exit says leaving in a rough state because last 10% is, yeah, like the last 10% or 90% of the work, right? But to be honest, the symbol versioning doesn't look like that much. I mean, maybe it is like, if it's just a similar version there, I mean, this doesn't look like the most complicated transform, but yeah, I mean, I agree, right? At the end of the day, nobody wants to pay for that, like ourselves, which is amazing. People buy me some coffee. Always some shameless self-promotion for all our work here. And yeah, why don't we have a release? Because like Clang can't even compile crypt setups. Like, how should we release a high-end operating system without full disk encryption? So we probably have more stuff to fix. Like, all right, this is super annoying. I don't even know how to fix this. One thing, Mesa says there, feedback for test suite. I got feedback in our Discord. We should test actually our installer second stage to work. And that if this, like, because people found our minimal init for like low memory systems, like 486s. And other such embedded stuff. Our mini init does sometimes not fully work. Probably we should fix it. But as Trap Exit says, the last 10% are more than 10% of the work. But yeah, there are also over 2,000 Linux distributions, right? Some specialize in Clang only or Musel only. Yet, I mean, even Kmod is currently severely broken for Musel libc or Muscle libc. So yeah, this HPP errors is super annoying. I don't even know what's going on there. That is absolutely bizarre. Oh wait, is it even? We saw this yesterday. Where is even the error? I have no idea what's going on here. Cannot reach rest init. I have no idea what breaks here. Cannot reach stuff of, I don't know, man. This was working once upon a time. Like, I mean, it doesn't look like the most broken, but I mean, a little broken is obviously enough for a Linux kernel not to work. I've no idea what's going on. I mean, I would like this is, I mean, you often see me like fix things in 5 minutes unless it's some version Kofefe. But here like like here even I don't know where to start. I mean, probably object dumping the assembly and analyzing what's wrong with this particular relocation truncated. So I guess it's too far away, I guess, like relocation truncated to fit. So that is, what is that, 22-bit relative? But 22-bit is still freaking large, right? Does this belong together of rest init cannot reach profile init? Ref text cannot reach unknown? I mean, it is, I mean, the crazy thing is, and that is why we that's why I want to build even more often, right? Because when did it broke? Is it the latest GCC? Is it, I mean, okay, I could as a test, so how to tackle that? I mean, I don't really want to spend my time debugging this, and it might not even be like, if code is just getting too large, or who knows what precisely is broken there, or other assembler alternatives or profiling hooks, assembler magic might not even be easy to fix. So maybe it's better to try an older, like last month's Linux kernel, like because it did recently build. Probably the last, I mean, I didn't turn on, it would help if I would turn on the HPPA risk. I believe 6.4 I tested. I believe when the VF whatever scheduler was new, I tested that and HPPA risk, and it was significantly faster, which was certainly welcome. Yeah, I guess I kinda bisect this with later. I don't want to disturb my other builds. Now, what we could do is we could test that our test suite works for build all Arch. We have here ARM version 6 Big Endian. Or just ARM 6. Wow, come on, where is it even? ARM 6 version. I had version. Well, okay, whatever. Probably, yeah, ARM version. So let's see if I have all the tests correctly wired up for that. I think I have not wired that up correctly, and why is this? EB. Okay, this is just wrong here. That is Indian is big because apparently we don't have QEMU for that for reasons. ARM. Here's ARM Indian is big. System. ARM. Okay. UVF. Okay. ARM. EB. Here is EB. Okay, not sure why I did overwrite that here, but ARM. Wait, we can. What do we set this to? Also typo. Hey, as it passes. The question is, can ARM QEMU system ARM Big Endian? Is there any? Maybe not. Using QEMU from Big Endian Debian system, outputs all run, but they can also run Big Endian. I read farm ARM boards all run Little Endian, but they can also. It's probably easier to run them Little Endian, less maintenance, which we could blindly fix bugs and tests. Fixing not easy. Drops for proportion. Big Endian. Debian dropped support for PowerPC Big Endian 2 years ago? Okay, there's always the one last Linux distribution you will ever need, that is T2, right? So is there a solution or not? I wanted ARM. Do they know? They went from ARM to MIPS? Okay, whatever, I guess. As it's already some more progress. Some more testing is always better than no testing. So what else do we have here? So yeah, that is why I didn't change the Linux kernel while this was building. Yeah, still 6.7.10. I guess we try slightly older. I mean, we could try if we Google that. Maybe I did yesterday. Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, Google search also degrades every day. Yeah, we could, while we wait for those builds, we could probably start to add this. So can we actually adding second? So yeah, many advanced tests will be difficult to integrate. So for example, we could like test, because we would need like the ISO. And then not all virtual machines might be able to touch an ISO. I mean, we could try to configure them so, but maybe for some like Super H or IBM S390, it's actually that will be quite challenging. I mean, we could still, we could mark those virtual machines that such architectures that don't support ISO. Although probably the Super H one, the best one we can use, even only supports one IDE port. We probably could stick an IDE CD-ROM on there. But then we probably don't have a storage to install T2 on. But anyway, we could at least test that the changed, it would at least maybe a valuable test to test if the modified second stage at least loads. and isn't totally broken. That might already be a test. Where even do I have that? Why is this not here? Is this not a complete build? Should be somewhere there. Okay, let's maybe, before we just rebuild it, let's, oops. All right, this is actually saved. I looked for the wrong file. By the way, should that probably... Yeah, basically we could test both. So those here are modified to... I mean, actually this modification is not the greatest. Is it even worse to test this? Maybe this is not even worse to test. Do we... I mean, we have a complete ISO. I mean, if we attach to the ISO, it would, I mean, yeah, I mean, there are so many things we could test, right? The only problem is that for the ISOs, we have some different bootloaders, and not all of them, like IBM mainframe stuff, does probably not come up like this with the CD-ROM. It might be, I'm not even sure if you, S390, can you even attach, I mean, yeah, we could, it would probably work to attach the ISO, not in any other HDI way. Should we test 390? I mean, we could add a test how it works for x86, but do we want, challenge is CD bootability is basically slightly different. There are two things to test. Like basically that's the CD boots, which we cannot do for all architectures because QEMU does not even support CD booting for all architectures. But what we could do is manually loading the kernel like we do. That's already, it would test more architectures in a slightly different way than they boot with their bootloader. Maybe we wire that up one more test as always. Like a test a day while stuff is building keeps a bit right. System x86. Enable KVM. x86. So let's load that directly like that. Oh wait, this is not, and then we would need toolchain. Basically test this modified init rumfs directly. That was probably should usually be ISO as a boot. The question is, do we place it there for all architectures? I'm not sure actually. Maybe we should. Do we have... Okay, we might need... Okay, that is low memory. It is 500. Okay, that is... Let's add this as a test and see if we can make this mostly work. Comment there, would I be willing to cover a network boot and install it to an SGI box? T42 seems to be last Linux working. I'm not a fan that the bloody hard button is always covering the... Would you be willing to cover a network boot and install of T2 on an SGI box? What do you mean with... T2 seems to be the last Linux working MIPS kernels and install media. Yeah, the problem is, I mean, yes, of course. The problem is, and that's the crazy thing, right? We do so much and yet stuff isn't perfect. The problem is, and I hate this myself, so basically currently, the problem is Octane is not really upstream. There's some basic... I said it before, right? The problem is that the way the SGI MIPS hardware is all incompatible with different interrupt controller and even buses and stuff. And then the Linux kernel, the way the Linux kernel is implemented, you need one dedicated kernel. So the reason you need one dedicated kernel for each IP, whatever SGI system, is due to the sheer differences of interrupt handling and I/O buses, right? Plus memory load requirements of different firmware of 32-bit, 64-bit ARCs and stuff. So currently, I know that is a limitation, and I really hate this myself. So because if I make a video, then it will only work like for Octane, right? And I know I'm dissatisfied myself that the T2 MIPS ISO currently has a somewhat working SG Octane thing, because it previously was my main test architecture. But in the meantime, I also have an SGO2. The crazy thing is, even for that, so for that to make this work even better, we should theoretically build the Linux kernel multiple times for IP28 or 27. Like basically the main things I have, which are 3, I believe. O2, Octane, and Origin 200. Is that all Octane stuff I have? Probably. And that is already like 3 things, but IP27, IP30, and IP32, plus minus, something like that. So we would need to rebuild the Linux kernel 3 times for all those matching configurations. And yes, it's scriptable. I mean, yeah, everything is scriptable, right? And so that is a challenge. Like, you support MIPS stuff, and then even then you need to build the stuff multiple times. Another challenge is that currently, at least like the most sophisticated bootloader, ArcLoad, which the most sophisticated 15-year-old bootloader, is somehow currently broken, at least for 32-bit ELF things, which is SGIO2. I thought 3 years ago, I have on my Instagram a photo where ArcLoad mostly loaded, or maybe even was fully functional, but my kernel wasn't. 3 years ago, something broke since then, probably GCC. So that's the crazy stuff. Why did I turn to YouTube? Because I'm seriously lacking funding, and yes, I totally regret not applying to this German sovereign tech fund because I thought they will anyway not approve us. Now, the most ridiculous projects are approved. Although you could argue, well, they fund curl and like other Rust core util stuff, which like seriously, Linux sovereign, do we really need to fund 200,000 euro Rust rewritten core utils like due? And there is, yeah, whatever. Then they could also fund T2 with 200,000. As currently, and I wanted to fill out the application 2 months ago, like more like jokings, like, yeah, fill this out now, but I thought like it's a waste of time. The German government project stuff will anyway not approve it. But the fact is, like, I have not done it because like I fix so much stuff that at the end of the day, I have no motivation or nerves to fill out government forms to maybe get some funding when I think like they will anyway not fund it. But this pro tip, like if you don't try, then you will not get it anyway, right? So pro tip, always try, which I didn't follow my own product again. As soon as they open product application, I will just, out of principle, fill this out because some hundred thousands of funding certainly would have helped dramatically to for this sovereign tech Linux distribution thing. So yeah, long story short, like it's difficult, right? The problem with rebuilding the kernel 4 times, currently we have a cursed, like for MIP64 we use a cursed best patches and hotfixes ever clobbered together for Octane to work that partially breaks Origin 200 and probably Octane. And even with this kernel init early, like there's always one more bug, right? And that is the thing. 30 years of open source or 40 plus years of open source and stuff is still so cursedly broken. So long story short, for SGI MIPS things to mostly, like, I mean, yeah, we could make it just work on at least 3 or 4 Octane systems, but not Octane, SGI systems. But even that is so much more, like as TrapExit says, right? The last 10% are 90% of the work. Plus I would need to debug what the heck is wrong with ArcLoad currently on SGO2. And fun fact, I just looked into this like a week ago because I thought like, can I just is ArcLoad fully work on SGO2 in 1 hour? No, I couldn't. I probably didn't even live stream that because I was boring shit, boring not working shit. Yeah. How much can you test automatically? Well, I would say you can test everything automatically. It's just how much effort is it to put into that, right? Like you can, if you really want to, you can test fully test the installation. Even graphically, it's just like, of course you can write automated systems that detect buttons, that detect windows, right? And then the stuff isn't pixel perfect, right? Each time you update font library and fonts, each time your text renders, like you can of course not screenshot that and like compare, like wait for a screenshot to be identical to click a button, right? So fully automated testing, graphical testing is complex and stuff. It can be done, of course, everything that you can imagine can be done. It's just like, how much efforts do you want to put? This is why I start with some lowest hanging fruits of testing, like some, and any improved testing is improved testing. But yeah, if you really wanted to, you could test everything. It's just like effort. This is why we already start to test more. And let's see how it goes. I have no idea how well this will go. Let's maybe make this copy 900. So I leave there some space in this numbering to logically group that together. So that would be 901 init rd command to 901, so to 911 for that is how's it even install? Maybe not as long. Install init rd And then we need to update this expect stuff. Expect 911. So we have an ISO name somewhere. 911. Probably already 1 hour, right? Of course, 1 hour. Wasting time with one stupid crypt setup things, and 1 hour is gone. So source that, cd there. How do we run build all? We still have this open somewhere. Where do I have this open? Here. Somewhere we export an ISO. We probably. This is already with absolute path. Amazing. Then where do I have this test? Install initRD. So we have. So we pass all args in there, right? So we can simply cd-rom ISO. What else do we need? All right, we actually need another initRD. So we would need. So we changed to this root. So we would need our modified installer initRD. So kernel is the main one. InitRD then is that one. I hope it. Wait. We need to make this a symlink actually. Does ISOFS does actually? Okay, for this test to work better, we would need to make this a symlink. But that is for another day. Toolchain. So for now we can test it like that, and then as we improve that, like there's always one thing to improve, right? Like maybe I should put this in the to-do. Make installer boot Linux and initRD sim non-version sim G4 tests here. So, all right, and we need more memory. I mean, we should even test, like, we could test low memory. But this is why maybe we would in the future have multiple tests, like tests multiple times, once with high memory and once with low memory. That is all we need, right? Append this stuff, cd-rom. So this will not work for all tests, like Super H and stuff. Right, let's try that. Let's see what happens. And 901 out, 911 out. So this expect, we still need to update this expect then. Basically here, so do we still have that here, right? So basically we would want to wait for that. I mean, we probably I don't know how this timeout works. Maybe we could wait for that. Like if we probably could script this because to time out earlier, we might want 10 seconds timeout for that step and 10 seconds timeout for another step, but this would be later to check. So we wait for that, and then we just hit enter default. So this default here will probably change for, because not all use DTY as 0. So hit enter otherwise any of those, and then send Where do we have, here's a new line. Send enter. And I guess then we can check that. And we could script the whole installation, right? It would be error prone and annoying like this with expect. I would argue I like this TCL tickle based expect more than yesterday's seen Linux Foundation automated Linux testing in Python. Like that was really not the most fun, but what do we have here? Hit enter. So then wait for basically this exact string to install that. And then, what did I not have? Probably I deleted the... Why do we... here. And then shut it down anyway. So this is just to quit the... I mean, we could usually do this differently, but it's basically to power this down gracefully. Let's test it for x86-64. Maybe we would one day also script this so that this can... There's something... I think this ISO thing does not... So somehow the CD-ROM here is... Maybe my front-end driver doesn't set the ISO name correctly if we didn't build the ISO. Yeah, here we want to set this always. So delete the drum. Always hits the ISO name. Oh wait, that is funny. We have ISO 1. Okay, that's not ideal. Okay, we could... Is this a local? Is it? It's probably not a function. Okay, doesn't matter. ISO. Okay, always sets ISO name here. Then if we basically... only create ISOs. Yeah, always to-dos. I use this shadow variable thing here, this shadow var, to always assign that here then. Otherwise I would need to, is it basically assign it here? We always need it, should we? It is what it is, I guess. I mean, I could use another var to signal whether we want. Is it more elegant? Because otherwise we would need to assign it twice. Or we just, maybe we just, you know what, let's use that here. I think this is more readable. Maybe we simply, let's call this gen ISO. probably make more sense. Because even if we don't build ISO, we always wanted to test. Okay, this does not have an ISO prefix. Ah, here is didn't help us really much. Audio stutters. Audio stutters were running the test I'm streaming from. Seriously? I mean, maybe it's a coincidence because it's not the same machine. I mean, unless the Ryzen is generating so much electromagnetic interference that I mean, that could be a thing, because for days I was wondering, I thought it's a Twitch thing that sometimes the audio wasn't perfect. I'm building on a Ryzen 7 fix. I'm live streaming from Steam Deck, right? So, I mean, they are close, but two separate machines. So, I don't know, if the load, then Ryzen has some EMI problem. Because the create ISO is adding the .iso name, because it's like name without .iso, so... I mean, check 1, 2, 3. I mean, the capture dongle is quite close. Maybe I should put the capture... Hey, the install init check passed on the first time. Are you kidding me? We really managed to script it. I mean, it's like, yeah, that is how I guess we script some stuff. That's cool. I guess one more test. The question is, for how many will this work? I have no idea. If this will fail for... I mean, this test will run significantly longer, right? Without KVM, extracting all this 100 megabyte set standard data probably takes a while. So ARch. But like, yeah, that is how do we get top 10 Linux distribution with not only supporting all architectures, but actually also releasing fixed and like Clang crypt setup. Yeah, as usual, there is some more stuff to do, including what did I want to say? So yeah, this will run longer. Here, this somehow diff stage. Why does this? What do you want? Error extracting short write. Okay, that memory wasn't enough for some reason. Is the ARM ISO so much larger that 512 megabyte are not enough? Hey, PowerPC passed. Like, is that not amazing? Like, and then people, I don't want to, working on test suite is boring. It's like writing tests sucks. It's like, what is more fulfilling than freaking test suite that passes your, I mean, yeah, if you write shit code and a shit test suite and nothing works, and sure, that's frustrating, but like, here's even no devices found. Which one was? Oh, this might be, maybe the RISC-V stuff doesn't, was it RISC-V? Which one was it? Musel? Ah, the Musel init. Yeah, this is, you know what, our UDIF stuff doesn't, like, yeah, if your Musel UDIF stuff doesn't work, then that's the thing. I wonder if it has this RISC-V stuff. Doesn't have a CD-ROM for some reason. So yeah, there will be, so there is more work required, but that's certainly good in any case. I mean, I never touched a CD-ROM. Maybe we could, I mean, we probably could just use HDA for that test. Probably more, maybe more architectures, like just as a workaround. We could also dynamically script, like, we could even our generic QEMU multiplexing thing mark like external storage device that, like, depending on crazy architecture requirements, we could make it CD-ROM, HDA, HDB, even VirtIO and stuff. Like basically have this matching table there of matching architectures to QEMU options, and have encoded there what to use for storage attachments there. Actually, here is there is actually a CD-ROM. Why did this not work? There is. Why did this fail? And there, I mean, yeah, scalability, right? It takes literally a whole day to take 20 machines out of storage, or even if you have them stacked here and turn them all on, right? So QEMU, why is this failing? And this is how developers can actually, developers and test engineers can actually concentrate on their issues. Here's actually no image found. Why is this? How is this failing? Which build was this? Okay, if you Clang? Why is this Clang thing failing? It has a CD-ROM. I mean, maybe it's just not a whole build, and maybe we didn't generate a proper isolate. This is bizarre. So yeah, we should make a second low memory test with the small things. Probably needs a little bit of different scripting. ARM version 7 doesn't have a Linux kernel build. Was it that name? Why does ARM version 7 not? Alpha install CD, will it work? No, it did not work. So this did not have a device appear. This might be a QEMU CD-ROM setup issue. IA64, we don't have QEMU. Ah, that is fun. Here is PowerPC 64, not enough, we need at least a gig of memory. Okay. I guess we can script that. We probably, like, we can make low mem, like maybe 60, like, I mean, like basically maybe the possible low mem and like 4 scripting to use for testing low mem, it might be different. Because makes no, if like PowerPC, we could even, I mean, we could make this the lowest reasonable, the highest reasonable, and like normal memory, where it should work, and we could make this here then, oops, it's like basically then low, I mean we could even like low mem it doesn't support, and normal mem is a gig, and okay, this is other. So like basically low mem is not possible because I only get a gig. And then that is why test things and build things are full with details, because that is just like reality is full of details. This test thing here, then let's make that norm no memory. Still testing here. So yeah, this testing takes a while because QMSN is so slow. Certainly don't want to run this, but it's good that we have that, even if it runs slowish. This actually looks relatively fine. What was it? SRAT90X. That here looks, of course, strange. And this looks okay-ish. Maybe it was just killed out of time. Like maybe it took so long to boot that 20 seconds of timeout were up. Need to investigate this another day then. Let's see if this fixes Arch PowerPC 64 that we just improved. So 1 gig, did we not run with 1 gig? How did we run it? Kernel? Append power is, why is this, maybe the terminal is disturbed and the line wrapping. I mean, maybe bigger than 2 gig? How much bigger than a gig 2? Coffee is also empty. Wait, somehow this didn't work yet. Let's maybe test build, not to always waste so much time rerunning that. What? Why could not open power NV, no such file or directory? Huh? Okay, this is somehow cursed. Why is this so strange? Okay, yes, there's indeed the wrong thing in there. Is it one G machine doesn't support that? Thank you very much. Multiple things here. Do we have HDB or so? That sucks. Doesn't support interface. That is unfortunate. So much to years, and we need what I said earlier. So that somehow our code didn't work. Let's maybe fix it first, and then the other stuff is for another day. 911. Why does this not? Probably we don't correctly set normal memory. Low mem norm. Somewhere there's a typo. Norm. Okay, this looks somewhere. Low mem. How do we call this? 2M or not 2M? Because we only have 1M here. Also there's an extra space. I'm here. So this will unfortunately not fix it. That is really unfortunate. We also would need some storage device override thing. That is for another day. Yeah, I found this typo. Thanks for... If you have a better name, leave me in the comments below. So yeah, this will not fix it, unfortunately. We would next need to add external storage device var for per machine. But at least it's progress. Let's see if that builds boots with G5. So that is Apple Power Mac, Mac 19, or is it? Yeah, I think that should be Power Mac. Let's see if that works. And then call it a day and fix the last build marginalities. Hey, G5 passes. Amazing. Nothing more fulfilling. Did I mention some minutes ago? Nothing more fulfilling than passing test suite with flying colors at the end of the day. Yeah, perfect code. Like other people on YouTube, perfect code is like evil's like, no, every non-perfect code is freaking broken. Like, stop doing your less than perfect code, man. Yay! 32-bit PowerPC also passes on G3 beige or whatever. That's it for this video. We have progress. We fixed some stupid Clang somewhere or like hacked, and I need to like, yeah. Did I add a? Probably not. So people want MIPS 64 SGI multi-kernel, and I guess HPP risk I don't really need to put in here because I need to fix it now. So it's pointless to add a to-do of what I need to fix in the next minutes. Let's try 6.6 and see if, was it this or was this right? Let's see if that kernel built for HPP errors. So test suite. Any more suggestions for variable names? What do we have here? Just some timeout, I believe. I think we should test what minimal timeout is required. Maybe like 13 for now, not 20 was. I mean, maybe we need 20, but yeah, we might need per system scaling. Okay, okay. It's someone just stuttered. This is fun, strange, because until recently it was fine. Why does it stutter then? That is so strange. Use Pipewire, they said. It's the future. Anyway. Previously this was fine. I mean, I could live stream on from a 3950 X4 test. Bizarre stuff. The future is now. So, edit first rd install test. We would need, so basically, before I add more tests, I would want to perfect those. It makes no sense to create 20 tests and they all fail randomly. So I would first, I mean, not only the initial 901 init.rd test fails for some architectures because either the kernel or the QEMU is too broken, like for Super H or whatnot. That's not the highest priority. It's like, yeah, it would be nice to have, but whatever. But this 911 with this storage media, like we should at least wire up another one or two, like basically convert that to external storage. I mean, we could prepare that here, right? Like basically this, the way this would work, I would envision that would be like VM Linux, like maybe append QEMU args, like maybe let's sort it here a little bit of like that, QEMU args, and then memory and X storage also is usually CD-ROM. Do we call this external storage? Something of that sort. Because we might also have like internal storage of what to install to, or like yeah, something like that. And so we would need what did we even run there? So there, then external storage, and then we change our 911 test to, where was it even? Command, right? And then we name that. By the way, do we expect that a shell? So we probably, that's a little bit longish, right? So, hello, why is this not append QEMU storage? So here, external storage, and then we need to figure out what we can use there. PowerPC 64 LE. So that is 8 threads is not enough. This will take way too long. Do we have that in history stuff of, okay, this didn't work right. I mean, maybe virt.io, I've no idea what could that, probably virt.io. I should have some virt.io thing here. Let's virt.io, so that is, do we have that here? Drive? Physical, I probably usually just use CD-ROM, right? Do I? End up drive blocker, this complicated shit here, really. Oh yeah, yes, but then what is the shorted virt.io thing? I mean, maybe interface virt.io works of drive. Can we, because there's sometimes a little bit shorter form that works, drive, file, interface virt.io. Oh, that works, maybe. I mean, the problem is actually, okay, that works, but hey, that works. Good job. Okay, we don't detect the terminal there. It works in general, but somehow it didn't detect the terminal there. We probably want to fix that. That's another independent thing. The problem with the syntax now is that we can't write it just like that. Can we at least interface virt.io first? Okay, of course we can. I mean, that's a little bit hacky. Maybe we can make it work like that. But would that? I mean, maybe we need the function basically to return that composed string, because that is really hacky now. But basically, yeah, the more you test, the more you find. Basically, we found kind of a bug in our installer default terminal detection thing. We probably want to improve that. I have the already detection, but apparently it's not good enough. So so then we want to set, I mean, that's a hack. I'm not sure if we can get this to work. Maybe we need to make this more sophisticated. But so external storage is equal that fun stuff. And the question now is, then we would need, like, for that to work, we would need that with a space. I mean, this is now really Russian roulette, whether that will work like that. I have the impression not. But let's see, what's the shell? I mean, we could run it to X. I mean, if we don't have other spaces, we could make it work with eval, the whole thing, which is always like the last resort. Like basically that with space or without. It's kind of hacky. It's like if we wanted to have this neither, we would need like generate like a function, a functor of generating storage device for an ISO name. But let's see, unfortunately it will not pass the test, like even if it works, which it may not, which we may work around with an eval, but like let's test high performance first. Does it work at all with KVM? Because it's faster. Okay, that is also line 7. What? Line 7, unexpected interference, I'm waiting for matching. What? But it's not in. How did I break that like that? External. That looks okay, doesn't it? Here somehow. What have I done here? How did I break that? Append. Oh, this was in quotes. Append. Probably pressed X on the wrong moment and we are. One more. I mean, in eval probably. I mean, for the moment, until we get even more complex like setups, does it even work? Hey, passed. That even apparently works with this space without eval. Interesting. Anyway, I'm happy that this works without eval. Probably 64. And this is like, why does stuff sometimes not work in other shells? Like, yeah, because retarded people like myself do tricky stuff that might only work in Bash if you're lucky or whatnot. So this will likely fail because the it will fully boot. So this, yeah, looks like it apparently does boot. It will probably not work because it will default to the wrong console, right? We might be able to work around that if we expect this to fail after timeout in 20 seconds. Yeah. So it fully booted. That looks funny. Did it really boot that slow? Because it does look like... That is also funny. HFS unable to locate alternative MDB? What the heck? Continue without an alternative MDB? Like... Ah, because... Okay, this is actually HFS. Yes, it's PowerPC that has HFS. No, this is... Here is that, right? We might be able to work around that by explicitly specifying the console, which we might not do. What is the console log? What is the console driver for this thing? Don't see that here. What is that? That is power NV. Ah, shit, what bloody console is that even? I mean, we could test this already, commit early, commit often. Here is hypervisor. I mean, we could actually test. So I intentionally left it out. I mean, basically, test T2 second stage without console hypervisor console 0 to auto detect. We might be able. Let's test one last thing. If specifying it probably will make the T2 installer use it. Might be hypervisor console. Oops. Might be hypervisor console. Let's see. Comment there, can't understand what's happening. So we do not only develop one of the world's best Linux distributions, but also test it. So we do test suite. You probably want to already learn that the only substitute for testing is more testing. And as you need to programming, some like test suite is undervalued, like do more test suite, because the only substitute for test suite is more test suite. As you see here, hey, that passes now, this is explicitly specified. But yeah, I think theoretically we just like yesterday we immediately uncovered bugs. Even today, like I would say it should work automatically without console specified, but that is, I could also like basically nothing adding to two different to dos. Basically T2 second stage detect console. This would probably also affect Spark, by the way. That's probably similar to Power, Open Power, and Spark. EG test 911 inst D. Could test one more, like 32-bit PowerPC, and then call it a day. Also, what is... Oh, look at that previous kernel build. So it's like here. Latest kernel breaks for. I mean, yeah, we can overlay that for. I mean, maybe I just overlay it for HPP risk 64. I mean, it's just silly, right? That's all life. Like every other time there is some serious breakage that is rather unfortunate. That also works. I mean, we could like ARM64 and then like did that work too, and then we really call it a day and have an increasingly amazing Linux distribution. But to me, nobody does understand what's going on. I hope some people understand what we're doing. Beside, don't late try T2, amazing. T2 Linux even for free today. because we increasingly make it better. Not that eventually you can't afford it anymore. No, where we do it. I mean, we probably may have. Okay, that did not work. Maybe also for no. What do we have here? Here's short right. Maybe we. Oh, I think this. I guess we want to increase. Maybe it's just out of memory for some reason. We run most with. What do we have? No memory. Maybe we just want to increase it for normal systems too. 2 whopping gigabytes these days. I mean, maybe reasonably set today. It's just not so. We could later always just adapt it to whatever we find reasonable. It's just a test. We use normal memory there, right? Like, so the reason for my low, medium, high is that I expect we will later have tests that test extreme memory starvation and or other huge memory system things. And then it would be like to prepare for that already. To have those at hand, not like every other day at their new things all over. One thing I might want to have for this test suite is verbose to see the stuff scrolling by if I wait like this for that to finish. Hey, passed. Just a little bit more memory. Yeah, I guess. I mean, maybe this ARM stuff appears to be somehow. Something appears to be somewhat less efficient there. Anyway, probably can have a. What do we even have? Gigabyte? I think it's reasonable for whatever reason. So, more test suite. QEMU in and 911. So that is external storage and edit low. Oh no, external storage. Edit external. How did we call this storage? Storage and 2 tests. Fix APC64LE and increase something of that sort, right? So we have, okay, some little to do with it, tiny little bit. Yeah, this timeout. Probably we could run all, actually, you know what, people are watching, right? You want to see test suite. Let's run all and see what fails. Yeah, test test suite increasingly long, but we will mostly not see it. I mean, yeah, as efficient as possible is always nice. That is why we also start with user space tests, because they're just so much faster, right? But in the grand total scheme of things, if we build ISOs for 2 hours in ISO, 24-ish hours, all of it, running the test suite for a minute or two is certainly way worth it. I mean, ideally more tests. Maybe the installer test, like basically another day we probably script all the freaking installation. It's like, yeah, we've seen that it's out of memory killed here. There's something out of memory. Because yeah, it's more time wasting for us to do this manually, obviously, right? Whatever you can automate, automate. And certainly, here's 386-ish. Why is 686? It previously worked. 686? How is that failing now? I thought it previously worked. How the heck did that fail? I see it already coming. If we continue like this, we will find the next AMD or Intel processor errata bug. UDFD out of memory killed. That is bizarre. Is this reproducible? That was what, 686? That was 686. That is fun. Does this reproduce? And that's not the thing, right? Does it reproduce? Does it, like, running test is simple? Did it not previously fail? Was it not that one? Hello? Are you okay, processor? What marginality is that? I'm not really sure what's going on here. Was supposed 686. 901 init already failed. That is certainly the ultimate system stability test, right? Stuttering again? Okay, risk 5 fails. Maybe that also doesn't have HDA. Or does it? Okay, risk 5 does not have... Yeah, the musual test obviously fails. We still need to fix that. Alright, there's always one more thing to fix. Let's maybe make the risk 5, you know what, for all those viewers tuning in. And thank God it's Friday. Let's make risk 5 use some external storage too. And then we really call it a day. So don't forget to select subscribe while we implement that too. We have a word machine, so probably also the other risk 5 test actually succeed. So this doesn't find media, so let's test the same word IO thing. Risk 564. So this was device or drive. Was it drive? Interface word IO file. No, not D drive. Ah, that works. Nothing like. It's basically, yeah, the same for The same for power stuff here. So RISC-V any vert and that. And we can test this just both by that. Man, is it amazing. This crazy Linux distribution gets better every day. I wonder how much they charge for this amazingly working system. Surely must be more expensive than Oracle's broken Linux, right? And two more tests pass. As simple as that. I mean, that is the thing, right? You start stuff and such things we don't need to touch for hopefully years to come unless they break it in QEMU's Linux kernel. And then we can concentrate on adding more and more tests. Yeah, MIPS, we need a MIP64 system. The benefit, yeah, actually that will actually be very tricky. If we just said we should build a multi-arch MIPS kernel, if we then have like IP27, 30, 32 and generic MIPS Malta whatnot board for QEMU, will actually be tricky to test in QEMU. We probably should make it so that the default kernel is generic Malta whatnot test board or so, and the others are so basically the -T2 kernel. It's like, yeah, and then we can test it like the default generic kernel in QEMU, and like IP27, IP30, IP32 for real hardware probably would make some sense. As much sense as a convoluted SGI MIPS architecture landscape makes. Internal tests of QEMU in, right? Actually, does this stuff even have a copyright yet? This surely needs a freaking copyright, right? Can't give our test suite away for free too. Not that Red Hat improves fixes their Linux. What? Did I copy paste this wrong, or what is this again my... What have I done wrong here? Even copyright you can't copy and paste anymore. Oh, by the way, we probably want this bash maybe, just in case. When did I start this? 2022? Probably. So, what else? There's some, what was it, news? Microblaze? Okay, Microblaze. So some others, hey, x82 actually passes, that's amazing. Okay, here's some interesting challenge. Okay, yeah, Super H did somehow, yeah, the Super H tests will all fail. I thought I had this previously booted. Maybe not. Yeah, that is Loom Arch. I mean, maybe, what is here going on Loom Arch? That somehow doesn't do anything. Maybe it's just another console. If we boot without that, what happens? Nothing? Do we have here... do we need mvert? None of vert is the default. Do we have here some board configured? Maybe the kernel needs another feature or two. Not the most important. Chinese CCP can send a patch. What else is going on here? Here's another test that fails. MIPS test fails for... Maybe also not seeing... No, it sees the CD-ROM. Why did this not... Memory fault here. Can't find SBIN init. Maybe it's just out of memory. How much do we have here MIPS? Maybe we... How much did we run this with? I don't see it here. That was MIPS, right? Maybe some kernels somehow need some more memory for device mappings and whatnot. But that's really the last one we take a look at. Actually, normal memory we have already a gig. Is a gig too much? Do we set this, by the way? Here we set this already, right? Where do we have... Do we have MIPS here somewhere? Did MIPS cell boot? My memory fault is a little bit, memory fault is a little bit strange. I'm not really sure. Doesn't really necessarily sound like out of memory. Would be slightly more interesting. Yeah, maybe this needs a verbose switch of having that output also teed to the console. Okay, MIPS cell fail. Memory fault. Unfortunately, we didn't see. Maybe the console was irritated from other stuff. And now we need to wait shortly, or we can also... So this was MIPS cell, right? Can grab what we run to test that. We run this with a gig. We can try like does 512 improve that? I mean, we don't need that much memory. Let's see if less fixes this. No, this also errors. Then let's see if more fixes this. I mean, it's a little bit ridiculously much, but there is only so much crazy shit I'm debugging. It works on my Octane and on my O2. I mean, my O2, here this also fails. I mean, maybe memory, I mean, maybe there is some virtualization marginality, maybe MMU, maybe QEMU, MMU management unit breaks. Yeah, it would be good to know, but yeah, there are more important things as long as it boots on my O2 and Octane. Maybe it would be good to, we probably add more conditional execution there and mark those that are currently likely broken upstream for emulation accuracy reasons anyway, so that we don't constantly see them, right? Like if it just ain't stable enough in QEMU or whatnot, then it is what it is. So we should check, so the x86 stuff is breaking though, right? So for Musel, let's rebuild Kmod. Unfortunately, we need to rebuild the InHD then as well. Let's see if that finally, I believe Notec had imported, didn't he? Okay. Test. Okay, that doesn't. Oh no, wait, why does this not. Why does this say not a thing? Do we not have a kernel? We have a kernel. Why does it say not a thing there? We anyway need to well, okay, let's regenerate some init manually. Once for testing, I'm not waiting 5 or 7 minutes. Uh, 622. What was the flag for mk init rd for minimal? Was it dash minimal or dash minimal? So does it do something? Okay, the init, the question is, did it previously pass? I'm not sure. The install init will. I mean, this test come in handy, right? Because install init it really needs to work. I think it doesn't work. Yeah, it's still it's so borked. It's ridiculous. Yeah, so this UDEF worker still segmentation fault. Yeah, C difficult for systemd, Kmod, and Musel libc things. NAT is Itanium, not a thing in this case. It's like prerequisite. It's like not a thing there yet. It should be. I wonder why we get that there. It's a homage to Itanium. Test. Hello. Tests. Internal tests. This is. So this module is not there. Still was stuff running in the background. I mean, probably this isn't there, I guess. There are two? Why are there two? Is this not a full clean build for some? That's also not cool. I'm slightly wondering why we have this. Did I had some old lingering build lingering around there? I thought I had cleanly built all. That's a couple of Linux kernels. What? No, it's not. What? Maybe I substituted that probably wrong. Maybe why is this here? I don't know where that is coming from. Strange. But we still need to debug this anyway. New. Do we have here dry run or stuff? That would rebuild quite some things. Okay. Whatever, I still need to debug this musel marginality. Welcome there, how's it going? I'm actually tester for the sound EMU 10K driver, that is amazing. Happy to hear that. EMU 10K was, or is this either? This is either cards, right? Or is it, no, is it, or the first PCI card? Was the other EMU 10K? Anyway, happy to hear that. The more testing and fixes, the better. Also, we don't build with enough sweat. So yeah, I guess we're mostly there. There's always one more thing, including this godforsaken musel instability here. All the threads and all the memory, and go. I hope you enjoyed this, learned something, especially the only constant is change and regressions, and the only substitute for testing is more testing, and do perfect code in the test suite. Have a good day, night. Patches welcome, maybe go fix some things, and don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. I hope to see you soon for the next fun stuff to come.